guys, welcome to Chasing Projects. I'm Jeff, and this is your SoCal fishing forecast for Thursday, May 2nd. Quick look at our 10-day weather forecast here. We still have this morning cloud cover, and we're getting into that May gray June gloom scenario. So more of this will probably be in the future. And taking a look at our wind model, you can see we have northwest winds with our famous eddy condition from the Coriolis effect, and that's going to bring that cloud cover over our beaches and intercoastal waters. So from what you can see out here, mainly 20 knots, 25 plus. As we head into late Saturday afternoon, things are going to get significantly more aggressive, and that coastal eddy is going to be a little bit more of a west wind instead, and that's going to drive up some wind swell for the remaining portion of the weekend. So if you're thinking about heading out, make sure you keep a keen eye on the marine conditions here, because it's going to be changing quite a bit even inshore here. Current marine forecast, like I said, things really start to ramp up here on Saturday night. Gusts of 20, wind waves kick up to 4 feet. And then Sunday, 15, gusts of 25, wind waves at 5 feet. Northwest 4 to 6 at 6 seconds, so stacked up pretty tight. And then the summer southwest 2 feet at 15-second period is not really going to be a factor. Chance of rain also in there Saturday night into Sunday. And then the stuff's going to kind of linger here for the next several days. So if you're even further west, 30 to 60 miles, obviously things are going to be a lot worse the more you're in this wind line here. So keep an eye out if you're thinking about heading out. Be safe out there. Current look at our 3-day temperature chart here, and things are looking better. I was telling you guys that this eddy condition is not going to hurt the water temps, and that's because of the scenario in which it creates downwelling, so it actually warms up our coastal waters here as that wind blows. Now, if it was a wind from the south, it works in the opposite. So it blows offshore and then creates upwelling. And then that upwelling drives our beach temperatures down. So the sea surface temperatures offshore could be dramatically different than what's near shore. And the direction of the wind has everything to do with that. So always pay attention to that. A very, very useful tool. And that's why the buoys don't always tell the whole story. You gotta look offshore and near shore as well. So looking at our water temps here, definitely have a warming trend going on. California current full effect. Up north, as far as fishing goes, we've had a really nice little run of sea bass here the last couple of days. There's been a couple of good schools guys have been able to cast those fluke baits at. You can probably get them on some live squid as well, but Channel Islands, they really like when they're schooling up on top to cast on them when they're active. So being that the wind is up, most of the stuff is not going to get looked at the next several days, being so windy and sloppy, and also it's going to make finding them much more difficult as well. So don't expect to hear anything from this area over the next week, but once it comes down, those fish should still be there. So see how that plays out. No word from Nick, and I don't expect to hear much either, as it's going to be in that wind line, and probably to say the same for Santa Barbara Island as well. Most of the guys that have been coming here looking for sea bass have been fishing on the west side here, right in the weather, and that's not going to hold out too well with that wind that's coming through. Catalina, still no sign or word on a lot of the stuff that's going on. There's been a little bit of sprinkled sea bass in there. They haven't really been the big ones. Seen much better grade up at the Channel Islands last week. 40 pounders. I even saw one close to 60 look like. So pretty good showing up at the Channel Islands. However, the ones at Catalina just really haven't been that big. There has been a little sprinkle of yellows as well on the backside. So you do have a chance at taking a look at one of those. But things are just getting started here in these spring conditions here at Catalina. So don't have your high hopes up chasing big ones yet, but keep it on your watch list for sure. I told you about San Clemente Island. 2 weeks ago, I was out there. I said I was getting close, but it wasn't quite ready yet. We finally got a little showing this week. Yellows are caught on the front side between Gold Bluff and Persane, the same area that I mentioned 2 weeks before. And they got 5 or 6 that look like 15 to 20 pounds. So some decent grade stuff. Nothing showed up in Pyramid Cove yet, but give it some time, and hopefully the island will start cooperating, and maybe less seals this year. Maybe, we'll see. But moving down south, we've had a little run of yellows here in La Jolla, and occasional sea bass as well, slow trolling mackerels. You can use this technique not just there, but also at the islands. If you're trying to catch yellowtail, but you're trying to avoid bonita or bass or anything else that might come up and eat a live mackerel, that's something that you're not targeting. Mackerel over a sardine will usually keep everything away except for the yellows most of the time. No guarantees, but a good chance. But you can also catch sea bass with it too, so you're really helping yourself out here if that's a technique that you want to use. And we can always sabiki some mackerel in your red buoy locations or your favorite spot just offshore, or even in the harbor sometimes if you know where they like to hang. So that is another option. Coronados, most of this water's been turned over in green, but there was a good little pileup of yellows at the rock pile the last couple of days. Some guys got them. San Diego finally got off the dock and was out there today. They got a couple as well. So finally things are starting to look like they're warming up here. And those bluefin are finally a little bit closer to home. There's boats way down south that we're seeing them, but then they didn't get a really good look at them. Some of them got the night bite, but others weren't so successful. Today it seemed like it was much better. Even the pongas out of Ensenada were getting them. Some were caught on, if you've seen the new RMV lures for Mag Bay Lures, they're pretty sick. We're going to start stocking them here shortly. But they are a full epoxy lure. They, you can't break them. They're solid and obviously wired through. So, but they were trolling those instead of Mad Max and having some pretty good success with those as well. So these fish are getting closer. Some of the sport boats are catching them down here on this piece of structure between the 238 and the 220. If I show you what this bottom detail looks like, you'll understand what I'm talking about here. But we got a couple of bumps here that have always been a good wall for stopping fish as they move up here in the current. Sometimes, you get a little spot here before the lower 500, but then they hit this wall, the 238, 295, 220. And usually they pile up here for a moment before they move to the lower hidden bank. So keep your eyes on that. But at the same time, old Chlorophyll is in town, and he's greened up, the northern waters here pretty good, which is great for bait. But you're not going to see these fish really slide in close, to the upper finger. The fish on the rock pile, yellows don't really care too much about green water as long as it's not like this yellow red tide looking water. But usually right here on the edge is a good marker between a chlorophyll break, which is usually associated with somewhat of a temperature break as well, and then a piece of structure. Usually makes a good stopping point for upwelling for bait. And predatory fish get on top of it, and they'll hang out for a while, which gives you an opportunity to catch them in one spot. So we'll see how this all plays out this week. We were successful in acquiring our new boat for this year, so gonna get a little maiden voyage here on Saturday and go through it, and we'll start posting up some videos of what to look for, things to do. All that kind of stuff, how to find a good boat. So that's it for this week, guys. Be safe out there if you decide to go out in the water. And season's just getting fired up. So we'll catch you next week, guys. Cheers. Hey, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and check out our website and online store at chasingprojects.com. And make sure you share the stoke.